Congratulations.
You did pretty good. You loved it. You're not gonna believe this.
Oh, yes. Ilya thinks you're ready for the pro tour.
Not yet, but he has told me he's gonna take me under his wing and give me weekly lessons whenever he's in town.
That kid's gonna be born with a tennis elbow if you're not careful.
That's a wives' tale. Besides, I talked to the doctor. Plenty of exercise through the 8th month.
See, your star's temper's exploded one too many times. I think he needs a rest. Maybe you should visit his homeland.
His temper sells tickets. That's what pros are all about.
Well, the vote was unanimous.
When did the Rules Committee reach this vote?
This morning.
Well, I don't understand it. Your father invites him here, and at the same time, gets him suspended.
My father didn't acquire this 1,000-acre paradise by being predictable. Besides, he's only one member of the committee. He doesn't own it.
He owns it, all right. Look, Ilya Ostrov is my livelihood. If he doesn't play, I don't eat.
Well, maybe you should look around for another pro, someone who knows the rules of the game.
I have been hacking away at pro tennis for 15 years, and now it's finally a big money game, and I've got a big money player. So your father wants to dump me out in the street? I tell you, I don't like it.
Mr. Hoffenstein, my father holds his possessions very dearly. That includes his newspaper, this 1,000-acre estate and everything on it. The wild game preserve, his prize cattle, but most of all, his beautiful wife.
I'm going to talk to the old man myself.
Well, however you handle it, don't keep your tennis player in the dark much longer, or he'll read it on the sports page.
Sally.
Hi,
Hi.
Walter.
3 years is too long a time, but you're still as beautiful as ever.
You guys haven't met. This is my husband, Mac. This is Ewing's son, Walter.
How do you do?
Commissioner, your wife is one of the fabulous spirits of our time.
That's what she keeps telling me.
Congratulations are in order. We're talking to the new president of the Webley Corporation.
Well, thank you. I wanted to call, but you know how hectic it can be starting at the top.
Walter, have you seen your father?
I think he went to check out the lions.
The Lions?
Yeah, it's his latest acquisition. He brought them in from Africa, but I think he's going to donate them to the zoo. They're frightening the workers.
Had to mention at least one of the guests.
2.
One, I was talking about you.
Walter, dear, would you please mingle a little? I can't do it all myself.
Are you two staying for dinner?
You couldn't drag us away. Your father's meals are legend.
I'll see you both later. Commissioner, I have to go mingle.
Wasn't Walter one of your amorous prospects in one of your previous lives?
4 very heavy dates. Then, darling, you came along, and you swept me off my feet. And all the other boys just sort of faded into Never Never Land.
And Walter, heartbroken, poor thing, exiled himself to Southern California, where he sold insurance for Daddy's corporation.
Well, he couldn't exactly live at home with Mother. Do you think it's true what they say about Ilya and Rachel?
Todo va bien, senor.
How is the beef aging?
Beautifully. Now that you have installed a new freezing unit, we no longer have to process the private stock commercially.
Ronaldo, I've just been checking on the lions. They seemed hungry.
They are hungry.
We'll have Silverio feed them.
Silverio's gone for 3 days now.
Gone? Where?
Maybe he went back to Caracas. Or maybe he's just taking advantage of the long employment with you. But he has disappeared. And no one else is going to feed those panthers.
They're lions, Ronaldo.
They scare the herd.
I know. That's why we moved them near the house.
They also scare the workers, senor.
They're caged, aren't they? The men will just have to live with it.
With Silverio gone, who's going to feed them?
All right, Ronaldo, I'll feed them. It's going to be 37 for dinner tonight. Serve the best Argentine.
You must have the top dogs out today, senor.
The upper crust of the upper crust, Ronaldo.
Oh.
When you see him, say hello from me.
Mr. Webley, excuse me. Could I have a word with you, please?
I've got a court reserved tomorrow if you'd like to play.
Well, I'd love to, Sally, but I don't think I'm really in shape for singles.
You seen the shape she's in?
We're playing doubles. Besides, I think I can get you a really good partner.
Well, she's just as tenacious as ever, Commissioner.
Some might even say pushy.
What do you say, Walter?
Well, what time?
12 noon at the tennis club in town.
I'll be there.
Great.
Who have you got in mind for a partner?
You.
Some of us have to work for a living.
Yes, but everyone has to take time off for lunch.
To eat lunch.
I'll bring you a peanut butter and honey sandwich from the house. You can't say no because I've already set Elia as the fourth. Besides, I think that playing with a pro might improve your game.
You know, you are pushy.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Commissioner.
All right, Spot. Let's go pay our respects to the host.
You've had your official notice, Mr. Hoffenstein. I don't wish to discuss the matter further. Now, Sally.
Hello, Ewing.
Commissioner.
Nice party.
Thank you. You know, there was a time, Commissioner, when I thought that your lovely wife was going to be my daughter-in-law.
I think Walter needs a much younger woman, Ewing.
Don't we all?
How goes the fight against crime, Commissioner?
Oh, it has its ups and downs, Ewing.
Well, you know you can depend on my media to support you. Or do I read a complaint in there someplace, Stuart?
Well, your blood and gore headlines, Ewing.
They're a little tacky, Ewing.
Yeah.
Well, these are tacky times, Sally. But I'll see that they're muted, at least until the circulation goes down and my stockholders complain.
Ewing just loves people. We do this every weekend.
Would you excuse me a minute?
Elia, where are you going?
I'll be back in a moment. Enjoying yourself, Ted? What time does the plane leave tomorrow night for Tucson?
9:30. But there's no need for you to be on it now, is there?
What are you talking about?
I don't think it makes any difference at all. Tomorrow's a whole new ballgame.
Dinner is ready, sir.
I'll have my wife join me at the table.
Yes, sir.
Webley! What is this? Some kind of police state you run here? You miserable lowlife. You are nothing but an ill-bred fascist!
That outburst just nails your coffin shut, my friend. Please escort Mr. Astroff to his car.
Haven't heard the last of me, Webley. I'll sue you for everything you own. You can't get away with this.
Dinner is served.
I come to this country because here there is a sense of justice. Ha! That old man is a Nazi.
You play around with his wife and he's a Nazi? You're not making any sense.
I never touched Rachel.
Then you're even more stupid than I thought.
I do not want to talk to anyone.
Yes?
Hoffenstein, this is Ewing Webley. Is your client with you?
Just a moment, sir. It's Webley. He wants to talk.
Hang it up on him.
You want to play tennis for a living, or don't you?
This is Ilya Ostrov.
If you can hold on to that temper of yours, maybe we can work things out.
I will try, Mr. Webley.
That's the beginning. Drive over to the main house. I'll be in the library. The butler will show you in.
He wants me to drive out there.
Well, that's good. You'll go.
He better not be playing any more games with me.
Ilya, that old man has been out playing guys like you all his life. Now, you will go out there and you will tell him that your relationship, or whatever you call it, with his wife is over. You will do it as nicely as you can, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get lucky. Now, go on, get dressed.
I think I'll reread Gone with the Wind.
Well, that was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
What, my backhand?
No, you know. Ewing and Ilya.
You better not make any mistakes with your instructor. He'll come after you with a racket.
Don't bend your elbow on the follow-through.
Thank you,
I
Mildred.
didn't know you played tennis, Mildred.
Oh, well, I had to give it up. I couldn't see over the net.
Where are you going?
To bed.
In your coat?
I just came in.
Were you out?
Yes, with Sarah Jukes.
Oh, who is Sarah Jukes?
Sarah Jukes is in charge of the entire staff of Walter Webley's new townhouse.
Oh, townhouse. I like that word.
That's 2 words.
Well, she likes both of them. Commissioner, did you know that Sarah Jukes is the highest paid housekeeper in the Bay Area?
On the other hand, I'll give you better straight lines.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Say goodnight, Mildred.
Good night, Mildred.
See?
Come on, Mac. Hurry up and change your clothes. We only have the courts for an hour.
Commissioner?
What's the matter, Mac?
Walter, I have some bad news for you, I'm afraid. Huh? It's about your father. He's dead.
How?
I don't know. Would you like to go out to the ranch with me?
Yeah.
I'd like to go too, Mac.
Fine. Where's he live?
I don't know. He's late.
I'll see you in the house, Sally.
Commissioner?
Sergeant Enright, this is Walter Webley.
Mr. Webley?
Sergeant. Cause of death established yet?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Commissioner, the cause of death was the result of being eaten by lions. I wish there was a better way to say that.
Well, how can you be sure it was my father?
Well, we found a shoe, some personal belongings, and a few pieces of cloth, which the butler said were the clothes that your father wore last night.
It was an accident, wasn't it, Sergeant?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, do you know who did it?
No, sir.
Well, Commissioner, I suppose you'll give this your own special attention?
I intend to, Walter.
If you'll excuse me,
Walter, I wouldn't mention this to the press until we finish our investigation. A shoe, a piece of clothing? It's not very positive identification.
No, sir. I didn't want to mention it in front of the Sun.
You sound like you don't want to mention it in front of anybody.
Well, we found Mr. Webley's dentures, sir.
His dentures?
Yes, sir. The dentist has already verified them.
Well, who found them?
The foreman of the wrench. Do you know that Mr. Webley's teeth cost more than my mother's house?
Any idea how he ended up in the lion's cage?
Yes, sir, I think so. You notice the scuff marks in the sod? Well, it looks as if Mr. Webley was dragged all the way down here. Whether he was alive or dead, we don't know.
Why would the killer put him in a lion's cage?
So the lions could eat him, sir. Of course, if the killer was trying to make it look accidental, he didn't cover his tracks very well.
That's what I meant. It may be tougher to prove murder without a body, but how would the killer know that the lion would eat him beyond recognition?
Well, the person who looks after the lions was away for several days. Those lions were awfully hungry, sir. And according to the foreman, Mr. Webley himself was going to feed the lions last night.
Well, he did do that, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Oh. Now, you can see further signs of someone being dragged along here. See the shoe marks? And there are more marks up here, sir.
Have you talked to anyone in the house?
Well, the butler said he was up till a little after midnight when a Mr. Astroff arrived.
Astroff?
Yes, sir. Mr. Webley was expecting him.
The butler told you that?
Yes, sir. Mr. Webley told him to wait up until Astroff arrived and then show him into the library.
What have you got, Harrison?
Nothing much, sir. A splotch of blood on the chair. No weapon. Someone tried to make it look like there wasn't any struggle. But the blood hasn't been here more than 12 hours.
Hello, Commissioner.
Oh, Rachel. Rachel, this is Sergeant Enright. How do you do? What happened last night, Rachel, after we left?
I don't know. I knew Ewing was upset, so after the guests left, I went right to bed.
What was he upset about?
Me.
Because of Ilya?
I told Ewing it was nothing, but he wouldn't believe me.
Ilya came back here last night, Rachel.
I know. Clifford told me.
Clifford?
Our butler.
Oh. Did you hear anything unusual? An argument, perhaps?
I took 2 sleeping pills.
Yeah, what about you, Walter? Did you hear anything?
No, I didn't spend the night here last night.
The vases. The vases are missing.
Those drab old things, Walter?
Those drab old things are Ming Dynasty and worth a small fortune. Rachel's idea of a work of art is a $1,000 bill.
You would never talk to me like that in front of your father.
Commissioner, I'm sure these vases were up there last night.
Yes, well, if you see anything else missing, Walter, why? Be sure and report it to Sergeant Enright.
Excuse me, sir. When you have time, I'd like to go over this list of your employees with you.
Certainly. But you won't find the killer on that list.
Who did it, man?
The lions.
The lions? Who in their right mind would go into a lion cage?
The lion tamer would.
I said, who in their right minds?
What's the number of the tennis club?
555-7942.
749?
7942.
7942. Hello, this is Commissioner McMillan. Has Ilya Astroff come in yet? He hasn't. All right. Thank you. Didn't call, didn't show.
You don't think that Ilya did it?
When I find him, I'll ask you.
He said he'd call me right after the meeting, but I haven't heard from him yet.
You're sure it was Ewing Webley on the phone?
I'm positive. I have a key. Ilya! Ilya? Well, he obviously did not sleep here last night.
It's obvious he left in a hurry, too.
All the toilet articles are gone.
Wherever he went, he certainly didn't plan to play any tennis.
You know, I've never been to a funeral service in a crypt before.
Well, I think we can assume it's not the social event of the current season.
Mildred, would you wear this black one?
Me, never. Black's too depressing.
Well, I don't want to wear anything inappropriate.
I always like to put myself in the position of the deceased. In a manner of speaking, of course. I mean, if it was my funeral, I wouldn't like a lot of people standing around looking like they were going to a funeral.
What would you wear?
What kind of a man was Ewing Webley?
Strong, decisive, very rich.
How'd he like his women?
Young and beautiful.
Just once, I'd like to hear one of these titans of industry say that they like their women older, with lots of character.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, young and beautiful, huh? Here, how about this one? If I was Ewing Webley, I'd like to see you in this one.
Mildred, I can't wear that one.
Why not?
Well, this is the dress that I always wear on special occasions when I want to seduce Mac.
You need a special occasion to seduce him?
Yeah, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
What about the other 3 days of the week?
He seduces me. Besides, there's 4 days, not 3. I've got it. What about this one?
Oh, yeah, I like it. Splits the difference. Tasteful but subdued.
My thoughts exactly.
Sally, let's get going. We'll be late to the crypt.
I'll be just another minute.
You're not going to wear that slinky thing to a crypt, are you?
What day is it?
24th.
Of the week.
Wednesday.
I'm going to wear this one.
Right. I'll be downstairs pacing.
What are those other 2 folds for?
One is for you, one is for me.
But we won't die for ages and ages. Poor Ewing. He's going to be alone for a long time. Look at Walter and Rachel. Well, they don't look very grief-stricken to me.
That's true.
Well, they could have done it just as well as Elia.
You're just prejudiced where green-eyed tennis pros are concerned.
Who has the most to gain by Ewing's death?
Probably Walter or Rachel. But the fact that they're not overcome with grief doesn't make them capable of murder.
You never can tell.
And it was your friend Astroff who was taken about her.
Well, he's probably scared.
Oh.
Hi, Mrs.
What's
McMillan.
up, Charlie?
Hi, Sergeant.
Well, I came over, sir, because the foreman filed a missing persons report on one of the workers, and I thought I ought to talk to him.
Well, why don't you take the car? I'll go with Charlie.
All right. Any word on Elia yet?
No, ma'am. A couple of people phoned in that they saw him, but it didn't check out.
Don't forget the M&N Béarnaise sauce.
I thought that cooking school of yours taught you to make your own.
Oh, they do. You try and try until you get it just right. Then you go out and find somebody that does it better than you do.
M&N.
M&N. Now, if you find Elia, be nice to him. I'm sure he didn't do it. See you later.
She sounds positive.
Well, you don't give up a good tennis pro without a struggle.
Ah, Senor Martinez.
Oh, Sergeant, how do you do?
May I present Commissioner McMillan?
Well, senor.
Commissioner, I was going to call you to cancel the missing persons report.
Oh, he showed up then?
A letter arrived from Silverio this morning.
From Caracas. I don't speak Spanish.
He says he was homesick for his family, and he apologizes for not quitting properly and wants to thank the patron for the many years of employment. He also says that he's very happy where his nieces and nephews can take good care of him.
Then may I keep that? I'll have missing persons remove his name from their lists.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Senor Martinez, did you see anything, or did any of the people around here see anything unusual the night of the murder?
Well, do you know of anyone who might have wanted Mr. Webley dead?
Mr. Webley had what my people call pundonor, a man with courage who's not afraid to use his hands. He never forgot his common origins. No, he had no enemies among the workers.
Well, if you think of anything unusual, why, please call us.
Be glad to.
Get over to probate. See what you can find out about the Webley estate. What do you mean he won't cooperate? What do I have to do? Come down there myself? Wait a minute, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that two goons dragged this guy out of a restaurant, haul him out into a parking lot, set fire to his pants, and he won't press charges? Oh, family quarrel, I see. Sure. Well, don't let him go. I don't care. Dance that lawyer around for an hour until I come down and talk to him. Okay. Hiya.
What was that all about? Anyway, Mac, I came down to see if you'd like to take me to lunch. I know this charming little Slavic restaurant that's run by a man named Mr.
Borovich?
How did you know? Anyway, I thought we could get a delicious lunch and then maybe sit and talk to him for a little while.
About Ilya Astrov?
Well, yes.
Well, no. Because I'm going to do it, not you.
But, Mac,
Don't butt me. And you know I'm having lunch with the mayor.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot.
So you thought you'd just mosey down here and see if I'd spoken to Borovich yet.
You know I never meddle.
Well, what do you call it?
Contributing.
Sally, love of my life, please, stay out of this one. It's too dangerous, too difficult, and I don't want to have to worry about you.
Mac, Mr. Borovich and Ilya are very, very close. Besides, you know how those Middle European men can be, very charming and evasive. They're not going to tell you a thing.
Whereas you...
Whereas I, with my infinite charm and innocent demeanor, could wring information out of a store window dummy.
Then go window shopping on your lunch hour and stay away from Borovich.
Mac!
Sally!
You know you can be very forceful when you want to be. Must be the power of the office.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
I'm not flattering you. I'm extremely impressed.
Stop. I'm getting a swelled head. I'll see you at home.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Do give my best to the mayor.
I will. And Sally?
Yes?
No Borovich.
Mac,
Yeah?
I love you. Mr. Borovich, I'm a friend of Ilya Astrov, and he told me that you're the very best friend that he has in this country.
He's like a son, but he has much to learn. The stories in the news sadden me.
You don't think that Ilya is capable of murder?
I think there is a breaking point in every man that should not be tested.
Would you have him call me?
I don't know where he is.
Mr. Borovich, he's in trouble. I'm sure he's going to contact you.
He hasn't contacted me.
If he does, will you tell him to call my husband and give himself up? Please?
I could try to persuade him. But Ilya is a man who makes his own decisions.
Tell him that my husband is a fair man, that he won't be railroaded or anything like that.
I'm sure your husband is just. A woman always reflects the character of the man she lives with.
That works both ways, you know.
Ah, yes. These are modern times. In my house, a woman is not allowed to smoke.
Good for you. It's a nasty habit.
Mrs. McMillan, I am like a godfather to the Slavic people in the city. I'll pass your words along.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. We've got to stop meeting like this.
Let me see your badge.
What badge?
Looking for a fugitive from justice requires a badge, Mrs.
Aha! We're down to that, are we? What are you doing here anyway, man?
Looking for a fugitive. Sally, I told you I wanted to talk to Mr. Borovich. I asked you not to.
Since you were supposed to be having lunch with the mayor, I thought you might get tied up and you'd appreciate the help.
Well, I did have lunch with the mayor.
How is he anyway?
Oh, fine. He's... What did Borovich say?
He says he doesn't know where Ilya is.
You're sure?
Yes, Mr. Borovich wouldn't lie to me, Mac.
Oh, I see. Whatever Mr. Borovich tells you, that's it.
Intuition, Mac.
It's the same intuition that tells you that Astrov is not the killer, huh?
He's a killer, all right, on the tennis courts. Only, watch out.
picking up tennis, Charlie?
This is a beautiful racket, sir. Is it new?
Sally gave it to me. She thinks I ought to get out more.
Well, she's got a very good point, sir. A healthy body is a happy body.
A healthy body is a happy body. Got it. Any leads on Astroff?
Not really, sir. I had breakfast with Pinson. He's an investigator over at probate.
What do you have?
1 egg, 3 minutes. 2 slices of bacon, crisp.
What information did he have?
Oh. Well, according to him, the Webley Corporation was up to its eyebrows in debt to the banks.
Oh?
And by the time the government takes its cut out of the estate, there's not going to be anything left. Commissioner, will you tell me how a man with $1 million goes broke?
He spends $1.5 million.
Well, I guess that's what he did. Pinson says that the corporation was always 1 loan ahead of bankruptcy.
Anything illegal?
No, sir. Nothing that's been established. But the money that was borrowed from the banks didn't always go back into the businesses. A lot of it ended up with the Webley Charity Foundation.
Tax exemption?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want you to check that foundation out. Find out where the money went, who authorized what, and anything else you can find.
Right away, sir.
Charlie?
Oh.
Oh, that sounds lovely, dear. Yeah, but I'll have to check my calendar. Hold on for a moment, all right? Just a minute. Oh, it's great. Yes, dinner tonight will be lovely. Where should we meet? At the restaurant. All right, fine. See you later. Bye-bye. Mildred, was that for me? Nope, was for me. Sarah Jukes wants to take me to dinner tonight.
Oh.
Told her I'd have to check with you first, though.
Oh, that's fine with me. I didn't know what we were going to serve for dinner tonight anyway. I just thought I'd get Mac to take me out.
Oh, good, because actually I did accept. But I would cancel if you wanted me to.
No, that's fine. Where's she going to take you?
I know some place I never heard of. Le Peterman.
Le Peterman? Mildred, that's the most exclusive French restaurant in all of San Francisco. You have to wait days to get reservations there.
Well, Sarah's very well connected.
You can say that again.
Oh, I guess I'll have to dress up. Wonder what I should wear.
Why don't you wear that cute little dress with the beige stripes?
No, Sarah says stripes makes me look chunky. I think I'll stick with the polka dots, you know?
Mildred, I don't want to rain on your parade. But did it ever occur to you that Sarah might be buttering you up just to pump you about Mac's investigation?
Sarah is too well bred for that.
I just don't want you to be disappointed.
No, I'll tell you why I think Sarah likes me, because I'm all the things she's not. Good sense of humor.
Refreshingly candid.
Unaffected.
Honest.
Oh, yeah, that too. Oh, I tell you, Mrs. McMillan, I'm really kind of just too marvelous for words.
And so modest.
Ah, most of all, that. Well, I hate to stop this conversation, but I have to go bathe in unguents and oils.
Unguents and oils?
I'm gonna shower, Kitty.
Look, whatever the problems are, we'll confront them. Yes. Yes, of course. I want no unnecessary delays. Just get this through probate as fast as possible. I don't want to be tied up with this thing forever. Right. That's right. Goodbye.
It's not only unfair, Walter. It's not possible.
$500 a week is a lot of money. You get to keep all your diamonds and furs.
Maybe for 1 or 2 days, but 1 week.
That's all he left.
I just can't believe it. 6 of the best years in a girl's life I gave to that. He reaches out to me even from the grave. It's downright rude.
Did you really think that Ewing was going to leave everything he worked for to a Vegas chorus girl and a tennis pro? Everything my father controlled was like a toy to him. He left all his toys to his son. Simple as that.
You know, Walter, your father used to think that I was the most glistening toy of all.
Third District, Sergeant Halliday.
Halliday, this is Comparini. Yeah, Paul, what is it?
My place. He hit me. The tennis guy.
Hey, Camperini, you still there? We're on our way. Camperini!
Astroff.
Get me Sergeant Enright.
He was shot once in the back, sir, but he lived long enough to phone the police.
You're sure his final word was Astroff?
Sergeant Halliday has a tape of all incoming calls at his desk, sir.
Oh,
that phone will be dusted for prints. Yeah. There's one thing that doesn't make sense. What was Ilya Astroff doing here?
Ming Dynasty vases.
That is very good, sir. But how would he know that this particular antique dealer was also a fence?
Well, Comparini hung out with the jet set, didn't he? They're the ones who can afford these things.
Well, they match what's in this picture, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Astroff's got running money now.
Check with immigration, his visa status, any new applications. Probably got enough money now to get himself a new passport and a new appearance to match. Ewing had good taste.
What do you do with them?
Well, you look at them.
Well, they don't do anything for me.
Think how much money they cost.
Yeah. Yes, that helps.
Hi.
Hi.
How was your day?
Horrible.
Mine too. My backhand has completely disappeared. I don't know why I even go out in the courts. It's so embarrassing. Then after that disaster, I had lunch with Gertrude Engelbach. You know her. She works with the charity. She suggested that we go over and see the Giacometti exhibit. We had to stand in line for so... How did you say your day was?
Oh, horrible.
You really mean that, don't you?
Would I ever lie to you?
Oh, what happened?
An antique dealer was murdered today in North Beach. Paul Comparini. Guess what his last word was? Astroff.
Ilya?
You know those missing vases from Ewing's library? They were in Comparini's safe.
Well, it looks like Ilya has murdered 2 people, doesn't it?
Anything's still possible.
It is? Maybe you'd be interested in what I found out today.
Have you been snooping around again?
Just a little bit. Ilya's manager has a policy with Lloyd's of London that pays him $500,000 if Ilya, through death or injury, can't play tennis.
How'd you find that out?
Gertrude Engelbach's husband wrote up the policy.
That's a nifty-looking dress, Mildred. Where are you going?
Out to dinner with Sarah Jukes.
Oh, yes, the highest-paid housekeeper in the Bay Area.
She makes enough money to take her friends to very classy restaurants.
What about our dinner?
Oh, that's taken care of. I'm cooking dinner tonight.
Yes, another one of her gourmet delights. Enjoy.
The last gourmet delight was a nut casserole dipped in goat butter.
Yes, and you know how much you like that one? You're going to like the one I've got cooking even more.
What is it?
Well, you've never had it before. Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake béarnaise.
I have an idea. Why don't you and Mildred have rattlesnake béarnaise for lunch tomorrow, and meanwhile, why don't we go out for dinner tonight?
You think so? Only take me a minute to get dressed.
Rattlesnake béarnaise?
Good night, Commissioner.
Oh, good evening, Dante.
How do you do, Miss Jukes? Hello. Your table is ready. Would you follow me, please?
Yes, thank you very much.
This way, please.
Come along, Mildred.
Later, madame.
Thank you. Oh, no. We'll start off with the vichyssoise. Then the filet, English cut. Medium rare. And the asparagus with just a pinch of lemon.
Pinch of lemon. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Mildred, there's much concerning life and relationships with employers that you have to relearn.
Where do I begin?
With your hair.
My hair? What's that got to do with working for the McMillans?
We must find a new image for you. One that creates more, detachment.
Well, I'm game to try anything once.
Tell me, Mildred, what are your duties with the McMillans?
Oh, just about everything. I'm sort of jack of all trades in the household.
Really? Your obligations should be clearly defined.
Well, what's to define about a dust rag on a grocery list?
Oh, I never pick up a dust cloth.
No kidding. How do you manage that?
I have a staff of 4.
Oh, yeah, well, things are a little different at the McMillans. We keep it pretty informal.
Yes, I'm beginning to realize that. Oh, you're too familiar with them, Mildred. Don't you see? Once you allow that to happen, it's extremely difficult to get a raise. Instead, they give you, affection.
Oh, well, to tell you the truth, Sarah, I'll settle for affection any old day.
Well, as long as you have such a familiar relationship with them, you might want to pass on a bit of information.
Such as?
That if your employer does not cease hounding my employer, then my employer is going to pillory your employer in his various media.
Wow. The commissioner's never been pilloried there before.
Oh, this is no time for levity, Mildred.
Well, in that case, you can pass this along. My employer is not afraid of your employer, and he intends to do everything he has to do in order to solve this case, no matter who's involved.
How unprofessional of you.
Yeah, well, different strokes for different folks, Sarah.
How is the vichyssoise?
A little heavy on the vichy or the soise, but I haven't figured it out yet.
If you discharge that many men, senor, there will not be enough hands.
It'll work out, Ronaldo. We're getting out of the beef business and the game preserve business. It's just too expensive to operate. Comprendes?
I will give the man their notice.
Fine.
What's Walter so hot under the collar about?
He wants his Ming vases back.
What about immigration?
Well, there's no record of Astrov having used his Yugoslavian passport to leave the country. I'd say the odds are he's still around.
Well, I didn't say he's still in the city.
Oh, we keep checking planes, buses, trains, car rentals, etc. There's no trace.
Put a tail on Hoffenstein, Mrs. Webley, and Walter. And Borovich.
If you don't mind, sir, I'll take Mrs. Webley myself.
Your father always wanted to know how the men were doing personally.
I am more concerned with operating this place efficiently. Comprendes? That'll be all, Martinez.
Senor? Well, Walter? I came out here personally to ask your permission.
Did you bring the vases?
No, there's still evidence in a murder case. You'll get them soon enough.
What about Mr. Ostrov?
Nothing.
Did you check the North Beach area?
We sure did.
He's already killed 2 people and you can't find him. That doesn't speak very well for the police, does it, Commissioner?
I'm not so sure he murdered the antique dealer.
You've got the dying man's voice on a tape implicating Ostrov, and you're not sure?
If the dying man made a phone call to the police and then died, he'd leave prints. There were no fingerprints on the telephone.
Maybe the killer came back and wiped the prints off.
You mean Ilya?
I mean the killer, Walter.
Sure. The murderer kills the antique dealer and then leaves the room. The antique dealer drags himself to the telephone, makes the phone call, dies. Then the killer comes back and wipes the prints off the telephone.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
Not even close.
Well, I'm off to town. You have a nice day. Is everything all right, Walter?
Goodbye, Rachel.
Isn't he adorable?
There's a simple but embarrassing explanation, Commissioner. The police arrive, and under the pressure of the moment, they use the antique dealer's phone to call the lab men. Then the unthinking police officer realizes he goofed, wipes his fingerprints and everything else off the phone.
That's possible.
I don't understand. You're the commissioner of police, and you're just about the only one in this town who does not believe that Astroff killed my father.
I'm just not as sure as everyone else. Your father was a powerful man. There's an awful lot of people who would like to see him dead.
So you're the reason that the estate is being held up in probate?
No, the reason is the law. A corporation just can't borrow money from the banks to transfer it to charity foundations. Banks loan money to businesses, not charities.
So what do you intend to do? Drag the Webley name through the courts to keep the wolves off your back?
I'm simply trying to find the murderer of your father.
And what are you wasting your time out here for?
Because I came out here personally to ask your permission to go through the Webley books.
No, not a chance.
We'll get a court order.
You allow a man known to millions of television viewers to slip through your fingers, so now you're on a fishing expedition to hide your incompetence? Humiliating, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, isn't Sally a friend of Astroff's?
She is. She's also a friend of yours.
Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
You don't really believe that.
It can be made to look that way. The Webley media has been kind to you up until now. Commissioner?
Cannot kindness. Come in, Enright, wherever you are.
Yes, Commissioner. I'm on a stakeout at the Webley residence here in the city.
I take it the beautiful widow's inside.
That she is, sir.
Good. What about the others?
Well, they're under surveillance, too.
All right, I'll be at home. And add Walter to your list.
Will do. Commissioner, have a very pleasant evening.
Hi, Sergeant.
Evening, ma'am.
Isn't this a coincidence, running into you like this?
Well, I was just going to, stop and have a bite to eat.
Oh, Sergeant, there isn't a restaurant within 10 blocks of here.
Oh, well, I've got a little bit of dinner in here.
Oh, it looks awful.
Not really. Chocolate milk, sardine sandwich.
You know, you're just not sneaky enough to make a good cop. Am I a suspect or something?
Well, ma'am, to tell you the truth, I have orders to keep my eye on you.
Is that going to be a little difficult with you out here and me in there?
Well, I mean, an eye on the apartment.
Do you want to kill two birds with one stone?
Ma'am?
Keep an eye on me and the apartment.
Ma'am?
You are going to be out here watching the apartment all night, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I'm afraid so.
Well, then why did you come inside? I'm not going out.
Well, that's highly irregular.
But it's just awful if you have to stay out here all night.
Well, I have to agree with you on that.
Well, then don't be silly. Come on in. Come on.
Here we are, Sergeant.
Thank you. Uh-oh. I'm afraid I can't eat those pastries. I'll bloat up right here on the spot.
Oh, you can't be on a diet all the time.
Well, I am, though. You know, it's really bad. I mean, if I so much as walk by a bakery, I gain weight.
What a shame. Oh, it's so muggy. I think I'll go take a shower. Go ahead, watch television if you like.
Oh, can I use your telephone?
Sure.
This is Sergeant Enright. I can be reached at 555-8787. Right, thank you.
Oh, Mildred.
Oh, hi, Commissioner. Want a snack?
What is it?
Leftover rattlesnake Bernays.
With or without the venom? It tastes suspiciously like tuna fish to me.
Gee, I wouldn't know. You'll have to take that up with the missus.
Where is she?
She wants you to pick her up at the tennis club. She's hanging around there waiting for a game.
That's all I need to be married to a tennis club.
Right.
Enjoy the snake, Mildred, but be careful of the fangs.
Sweet.
With the Secretary of State due back in Washington on Tuesday. Locally, police continue their search for professional tennis player Ilya Astrov, wanted in connection with the murders of Ewing Webley and antique dealer Paul Comparini. We have received word, although it's unconfirmed at this time, that Police Commissioner Stuart McMillan is continuing to look for other suspects. This despite the substantial evidence pointing at Astrov. We'll have all the sports for you after this message.
Hello, this is Commissioner McMillan. I'd like to talk to Sergeant Enright. Can you put me through on this line, please? Yes, I'll wait.
In hockey, the Wings took the Blaze 3-1. The Hawks edged the Rangers 4-3, and the Canadiens blitzed LA 8-0. In NBA action, the Lakers edged the Warriors 117. That's the Lakers' fourth in a row, and it puts them back into a tie for first place. And for the Warriors, they haven't beaten the Lakers now their last 5 tries. That goes back to the last month of last season.
This is Webley, telephone.
In action, Portland walloped the Bucks 123-99. New York devastated Boston 106-92. Cincinnati squeaked by Baltimore 105-104 in overtime. And Chicago routed Philadelphia 109-104. Submissions 145 the third round. They're scheduled 10-rounder tonight. Now that's it in sports.
Hello, Sergeant Enright here.
How is everything, Charlie?
Sir?
You keeping a close watch on Rachel?
Well, sir,
Something wrong, Charlie?
I lost her, sir.
Something's wrong, Charlie.
I would say so. Yes, sir. She said that she was going to go take a shower, and then...
You can relax. Rachel's here at the tennis club playing with Sally.
Well, why would she go and pull a stunt like that?
Fun and games. Maybe you better watch Walter instead. At least with him, you won't fall for that old shower routine.
Yes, sir. Now you know why I never went in for vice work.
Now I know.
All right, it's my ad.
play with you. That was a nice game.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Webley?
Yes?
There's a phone call for you.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi, Mac.
That bad, huh?
Hello, Commissioner.
Rachel,
Do you know that she beat me? Do you believe it?
where's she going?
I don't know. She's gonna take the 4th phone call that she's had with one set.
Very popular widow.
I thought I could beat her. I almost did beat her. You know, there's a lot more to Rachel than meets the eye.
I think Enright might agree with that statement.
Did she beat him too?
More or less.
You know, at first she comes on with that sort of dumb image, but after a while you find out that she's a very self-sufficient girl underneath.
Well, goodbye, you two.
Don't you want to play another set?
Oh, I can't. I've just been invited to go to a party. I think it's best I start going out again. But I'll be home all next week. Why don't you give me a call? We'll play.
Okay.
Bye, Commissioner.
Bye, Rachel.
Well, there's a new little Italian place just opened across the street. You want to give it a try?
That certainly beats your rattlesnake offer, but I think I'll see you at home. Do you mind?
Where are you going?
Well, I think she's just as smart as you think she is. This is Commissioner McMillan. Get me Sergeant Enright.
Mac, you're gonna have to be more careful. Whoever tried to kill you could try again, you know.
I must be getting close.
To who? Whom? Walter? Rachel?
You're forgetting Ilya Astrov.
Somebody else could have done it, you know.
Yeah, like who? Whom?
You were right the first time. Ted Hoffenstein, you're forgetting him.
You'll blame anyone but Astrov.
Well, it is true that my backhand has been deteriorating since he left.
You think Hoffenstein framed Astrov?
Could be.
I don't. His policy doesn't pay off on any criminal acts by Astrov. Only death or injury.
Well, that's good, because I'm having lunch with Ted tomorrow at the tennis club in town.
What does he want to have lunch with you for?
He just called a little while ago to make the date. If nothing else, maybe he could recommend a new tennis instructor.
Commissioner McMillan? Sergeant?
Mrs. Webley in?
Yes, she is. Would you like to come in?
Yep.
I'm afraid we are a bit disorganized today. The estate auditors just seem to be everywhere.
Mrs. Webley sleep here last night?
Yes, she did. She's having her breakfast out on the veranda.
Would you tell her I'd like to see her, please?
Certainly, sir.
Commissioner? Will you look at these paintings?
What about them?
I may be ill.
Why? Some of these are quite beautiful.
But look at the prices on these.
Well, great art's become big business, Charlie.
You're telling me. Well, now, take this picture, sir.
Picasso.
What do you think of it?
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, to this beholder, this woman here, it is a woman, isn't it?
Well, yes, I think so.
Well, this woman looks like a hard-boiled Easter egg.
Well, at $150,000 appraised value, I'd like to have it in my Easter basket.
Well, confidentially, sir, I wouldn't give you a nickel for it.
Is that a firm offer to the estate?
Oh, excuse me. No, I was just offering a personal opinion.
You strike me, young man, as someone whose tastes run more to those clowns with the weepy eyes.
Well, I may not know much about art.
But he knows what he likes.
Commissioner? Yes. Mrs. Webley will see you out on the veranda.
Thank you.
Oh, sir? Well, I'm a little embarrassed about last night, sir. So...
Oh, you want to wait here?
If you don't mind.
No.
Good morning.
Hello, Rachel.
Would you care for some coffee?
What kind of games do you have in store for us today?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Tell that sergeant that I thought it was the fun thing to do at the time.
Where did you go last night?
To a party.
Where?
A yacht.
Whose yacht?
Some rich young thing. Adrian Perry's his name. You sure you don't want some coffee?
Positive. Where's Astrov?
He hasn't contacted me. Honest, you really are mad, aren't you?
You damned right I am. Somebody tried to run me off a cliff. I don't like that. It clutters up my day. So tell us what you know and save yourself a lot of grief.
All I know is that my husband's dead, and a very attractive young acquaintance is missing.
Mm-hmm. And what do you make of all that? Did the very attractive acquaintance do in your husband as we're all led to believe?
I don't think so. At least I didn't think so until that antique dealer was shot.
If it was Astrov, why would he try to run me off a cliff?
Maybe it was an accident.
Yeah, accident.
Listen, when you see that sergeant, you tell him I think he's cute in a kinky sort of way.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
You know you are cute. In a kinky sort of way.
Thank you, sir.
Anything yet on Astrov?
No, sir, but some very interesting facts on Walter Webley. Let me see if I can get this straight now. Okay. Now, for the past 3 months, each time the bank loans were transferred to the tax-exempt foundation, young Webley flew into Venezuela, and he deposited the money there.
How much involved?
$10 million.
10 million? Get a court order. I want to see those books.
Well, you've really gone to a lot of trouble. You don't really think I killed my father, do you?
There's $10 million missing, Walter.
No, not missing, Commissioner. I just invested. South America, the interest rates are higher there.
Your idea, your father's?
My father's. It's all documented. He wanted as many funds as possible funneled through the foundation.
I see. So that if the Webley companies go under, the money from the Webley Foundation can't be touched.
Well, that's the way it goes on the corporate battlefields. There's nothing illegal about it.
Unless a conspiracy to defraud the bank can be proved.
Well, you'll have to admit that's not likely, since the conspiracy, if it did exist, did so solely in the mind of my father. He's dead.
Oh, what is the money invested in?
Condominiums in Caracas.
In Caracas. How nice. See you, Walter.
Sergeant.
Enright, what do you make of it?
Well, sir, if he knew his father's conglomerate was collapsing, and he wanted to grab some money off of a sinking ship, but his father found out about it, that certainly is a motive, sir.
That would mean he'd have to stash the money in South America instead of investing it. I'll see what I can find out. I'll call somebody in Caracas.
Commissioner, what if it's invested properly, like Walter says?
That would mean Astroff remains #1 on our list.
Mrs. McMillan, I got a special delivery letter from Ilya yesterday.
Where is he?
I believe he's still in the city. He heard that you were looking for him, and he asked me to talk to you.
Teddy should give himself up.
I think he may have that in mind, actually. He wants to see your husband tonight at Borovich's restaurant.
He wants to see Mac?
At midnight. He will see that the front door is left unlocked. I suppose he's afraid that the police themselves might just start shooting. Mrs. McMillan, maybe...
Ted, you don't think that Ilya killed Ewing, do you?
I have tried for years to persuade tennis fans that Edith's outbursts are part of the promotion. But they are, I'm afraid, the real thing. And when a grown man like that has tantrums, well, somebody can get killed.
Hi, Mac.
Hi. Walter gets more charming every day.
What does it say?
Mildred?
Yes.
It's not Mildred.
Well, it's not Mata Hari, if that's what you're thinking.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Don't you like it, Mac?
Well, I can't see your face.
That's okay. I can't see yours either.
Listen to this. Does the commissioner seek sensational mileage out of the Webley name in his bid to become the next governor?
Governor? I didn't know you wanted to be governor.
You didn't, so... Why, Mac, I thought you told Sergeant Enright everything.
Well, not everything, Sally. It isn't that I want to be governor. It's just that Sally wants to be first lady.
Let me see the... Signed Walter Webley. I'm going to speak to Sarah Jukes about this. Can I have this?
With pleasure. Was that really Mildred?
I don't know. It sounded like her.
Charlie, you look like you have tired blood. Is that Diet or Rachel?
Rachel. She moves around an awful lot, sir. In fact, I think she's preparing to meet with Astroff.
What makes you think that?
She picked up a renewed passport today.
Where is she now?
Back at her apartment.
Anyone on stakeout?
Yeah, I got a relief man till morning. I can sure use the sleep.
Yeah, well, you better get as much as you can.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome, Sergeant. Good night.
I have a hunch Rachel's going to be much more active.
You know, Commissioner, this whole case is beginning to get very strange.
It's been strange from the beginning.
Are you really going to run for governor?
Well, Charlie, if the people insist, I have no choice. Now for a nice, quiet evening at home. Where shall we start?
I think you might want to start by reading this.
What took you so long?
Well, I wanted to wait for Sergeant Enright to leave.
You're not thinking of going there without me?
Oh, no. I've been adequately warned.
Are you sure this is on the up and up?
Well, if it isn't, why would Ilya want to see you?
Door locked?
Matt, maybe we should...
If anything goes wrong, call Enright.
You think you're gonna need that gun?
I hope not. Ilya?
Get me Sergeant Enright. Oh, Mac.
Do you know how much it hurts to be hit over the head with whatever it was I was hit over the head with? the most unredeeming experience of all time.
It's all my fault.
Your fault.
Well, I was wrong about Elia. We should have called the police.
I am the police.
Commissioner, it's not the same thing. Hi,
McMillan?
Sergeant.
Commissioner? How you feeling?
My head hurts.
His head hurts.
I'm also getting an echo.
Well, at least you got your man.
My man?
His man?
There it is again.
Astroff, sir.
What are you talking about?
Well, we also found his body in the restaurant. You shot him.
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm afraid you did, sir. The bullet was fired from your gun at a very close range.
I didn't shoot anybody.
Well, I had a hard time believing it, sir, but it was your bullet in Elia's body, and there were no other wounds.
All right. Somebody hit me over the head, took my gun, and shot him.
Who, Mac?
I don't know.
You know, sir, downtown, everybody thinks this is all over. They've taken surveillance off of everybody. So I'd better gear it up again.
No, the case is officially closed. Leave it that way.
What about unofficially, sir?
Do you think you could keep an eye on Rachel?
What? Yes, I can. I've learned my lesson, sir. Believe me, she won't suspect a thing.
You don't think that Rachel killed Ewing, do you, Mac?
No, she couldn't have. At least not alone. But she might lead us to whoever did it. Who took that call from Comparini?
Halliday, down at the North Beach district.
See if we can get him over here.
Third District, Sergeant Halliday?
Halliday. This is Comparini.
Yeah, Paul, what is it?
My place. He hit me. The tennis guy.
Hey, Camperini, you still there? We're on our way. Camperini!
Astroff.
Are you sure that voice was Comparini's?
Well, sir, when I was on street patrol, I got to know him pretty well. I thought I recognized his voice when I answered the call, but, you know, it's so whispery and so gasping. No, sir, I cannot state positively, Commissioner.
What time did the call come in?
3:30 p.m. on the 7th.
If Comparini were already dead when he supposedly telephoned you, that could explain why there were no fingerprints on the telephone.
Mac, I'm getting confused.
Well, what if somebody killed Comparini, then telephoned the police pretending he was Comparini?
Ah, someone who wanted you to think that Elia was the killer.
Right. And who wanted us to think that Elia was still on the run. But what if Elia were already dead?
Mac, he was at Borovich's last night.
His body was.
Mac, if Elia had been dead that long, the coroner would have spotted it last night.
Not if it were carefully preserved.
There'd still be two wounds, the original and the one from your gun.
Not if the killer took my gun and shot him in exactly the same place.
Oh. Back to the question of preserving the body.
How often does Mildred go to the market?
I don't know, once a week. Once every 2 weeks, why?
And what does she do with the meat that she doesn't cook right away?
Well, she puts it in the Ewing's freezer.
Thank you, Halliday. You've been of great help.
Thank you, sir.
We're shutting it down next week, as soon as the last of the beef is shipped.
Be sure and get as many blood samples as possible.
We're doing that now, sir.
What happened to your new hairdo?
Oh, I'm too familiar to be distant.
Oh. Is this steak or is it kangaroo or something?
Well, if it's kangaroo, I'm swearing out a warrant against the butcher.
I'll get it. You eat the kangaroo. McMillan residence.
She used to just say hello.
I think that's the lingering influence of Sarah Jukes.
Oh, yeah.
It's the lab. I'll tell them to call
I'll
back,
take it.
okay?
No, I'll take it. Yeah. Oh, only one, huh? All right. Thank you.
What was that?
They found human blood in the meat freezer.
Was it Ilya's?
It's the same type.
Should never have gotten mixed up with Rachel at all. It's what Sarah's been saying from the beginning.
All this time he was supposedly on the run. He was hanging like a side of beef in the meat freezer.
Why'd they stash him away in there?
To preserve the body.
Ugh.
Then bringing it out at the proper time so the police could find their fugitive.
Since you were getting close, you were the ideal candidate to be set up to shoot Ilya.
Correct. Whoever did it naturally assumed I would close the case.
Then the same person that killed Ewing also killed Ilya.
Probably.
Mac, do you think that Rachel and Walter...
I'm expecting a long-distance phone call.
Yeah, hello.
So much for Sarah Jukes.
Who do we know in Caracas?
That's the phone call. I'll take it. Hello? Yes. Yes, this is he. No, operator, I want to talk to the president of the Venezuela National Bank. Yes, I'll wait. Hello, Senor Presidente. Yes, did you find the information I wanted? Oh, you did? Then it is a joint bank account. That's what I thought. Yes, well, thank you. Muchas gracias. Yes, I should. Yes. Yes, I will, sir. Thank you. Goodbye.
You should what?
Learn to speak Spanish. A $10 million A $10 million joint bank account registered to the Silverio Gonzalez Land Development Company, payable to Mr. and or Mrs. Silverio Gonzalez.
Silverio Gonzalez. That's the worker that went back to South America, isn't it?
The worker who allegedly went back to South America.
Car 36.
36, and right here.
Sergeant, I have the commissioner on the line. I'm patching him through.
Go ahead.
Charlie?
Yes, sir.
Where are you?
Well, I'm right outside the mansion, sir. Rachel Webley drove onto the grounds about 40 minutes ago.
I'm coming right now, Sergeant. Call me on the car phone if she leaves.
Yes, sir. 10-4.
What's funny?
I always feel silly, sir, when I say 10-4.
How about 5-2?
Goodbye, sir. 5-2.
Are you here? What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
It's all coming together.
You're kidding. Tell me.
Can't. Gotta run.
You're gonna run? Leave me in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
Mac, take me in the car. Explain it to me on the way.
No chance.
Mac!
N-O.
Commissioner?
And I'm not taking you either.
I was just going to say, when you're right, you're right.
Why, thank you, Mildred. And you're a wise, rational, mature woman. Tell you later.
You're a wise, rational, mature woman. You're a wise, rational, mature fink.
Commissioner.
Evening, Clifford. Mrs.
Good
Webley
evening.
in?
No, sir. You just missed her. Her car is gone.
Oh. Oh, well, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Good evening.
Evening. The butler says she's left.
Impossible. I would have seen her go.
Only if she used the front gates. There's 1,000 acres here. She could have used the service road. Let's go.
Isn't that a car?
Yes, sir, but what's it doing at the crypt?
Well, let's find out.
Ooh, I was afraid of that.
Afraid it was open?
No, that it would creak. It scares the hell out of me, if you must know, sir.
Me too.
Who is it? Webley. That's impossible, sir. Those lions. I mean, he's supposed to be in there or what's ever left of him. Commissioner, an airplane?
I'll drive.
Is there any law on a person going up in their own airplane?
No, but it's a law of murdering a person.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We just found Ewing's body. I know all about the money in Caracas, the investments in the Severio Gonzalez Development Corporation in both your names. Walter delivered it for you, and he didn't even know anything about it, did he?
No.
Put the gun away.
Ewing used him the way he used everybody.
Commissioner, I still don't understand about Mr. Webley's body in the crypt.
He was alive the whole time. That is, until a few minutes ago. He persuaded Silverio Gonzalez to impersonate him, didn't he?
Yes. He dressed Silverio up in his own clothes and sat him behind the desk in the library.
And killed him. Then when Astroff came in, he saw him slumped over in the chair, dead, and he panicked. But he didn't get very far. Who shot him, Rachel? You?
Ewing. He planned the whole thing.
He certainly underestimated you. He never would have guessed you'd have killed him.
I could have had all of it. All $10 million. Plus my freedom.
Pretty Rachel. Let's go.
Well, who sold those vases to the antique dealer?
Rachel. Then Ewing killed him and called the police.
Boy, she had us on a wild goose chase the whole time, sir.
It was his idea to make us think that she was in on it with Astroff.
Well, who tried to run you off the cliff?
Ewing. I didn't think Astroff killed the antique dealer. I told that to Rachel. She told it to Ewing, and he tried to kill me.
Now, the only thing I don't understand, sir, is about the money.
He invested it in the Silverio Gonzalez Development Company. Then, having assumed the identity of Gonzalez, he could pull out of Caracas anytime he wanted with the money and Rachel and live happily ever after.
Oh.
Got that?
No.
Oh.
But I'll sleep on it, sir.
We'll go over to get the board.
Okay. Thanks for the coffee, sir.
You're welcome.
Oh, Commissioner? Do you really think I'm cute?
Rachel told me to tell you.
Oh. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Harvey, is anybody looking for a game?
Not that I know of, Mrs. McMillan.
Oh, do you want to play?
Me? I can't stand the game.
Sally,
Mac, I didn't expect to see you. Why don't you change? We can play.
I have a gift for you. Granted, he might not be a tall, green-eyed Romeo, but at least he can help you with your backhand.
Oh. Bobby Riggs?
Who'd you expect? Billie Jean King?
Oh, you guys.
Women's lib, my dear Sally, is merely a fad which ranks somewhere between hula hoops and streaking. As Mr. Darwin observed in his Origin of Species, male superiority is the natural order of things. It is the male who fearlessly defends the hearth, the male who tirelessly provides for the needs of his family.
Are you sure that Darwin said that? Sounds more like McMillan to me.
Now here, we have a perfect example. Notice the manner in which this enterprising fellow hustles a living for his family. Notice also the helpless female, totally dependent upon her mate, and who lies there like a klutz. Not only do we have an example here of total dependence, but just plain out-and-out laziness.
Mac, I don't want to say anything, but your theory is a little cockeyed. You see, the bear that's putting on the show, that's the girl bear. The other bear, the one that's so lazy up there, is one of your people.
Nice try.
How much do you want to bet?
I believe she's serious.
How much?
I hate to do this, Sally. It's like taking candy from a baby. Name it.
All right. The loser makes dinner tonight. 4-star service and no help from Mildred.
Done. Now, I think tonight I'd like to have prime rib for dinner. I think that would be nice. Perhaps first a nice dry martini, chilled to perfection.
Hey, no peanuts.
Pardon me, sir.
Samson and Delilah.
Well, we were just sort of wondering which one was which.
Oh, well, this one here is Delilah, and that one back there is Samson, the laziest bum on 4 legs.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I gave the bride away.
Well, you can always take it up with Darwin. After dinner. For dinner, let's see. I think I'll have a Stilton cheese souffle. Just a moment. Thank you. I think I'd like something nice and long and cool before you get started.
You'll get ice water.
Oh, it's you. I was hoping it was mice, and then I could go back to sleep.
You can, Mildred, because you've got the night off.
Night off? What am I going to do with the night off?
Well, go to sleep. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if I have the night off, I feel sort of obligated to do something with it, like, well, you know, go to my sister's and be miserable. You just can't waste a night off.
I'm sorry, Mildred.
Everything's a dilemma. By the way, what's the occasion?
Oh, maybe he can explain it to you.
Apple juice.
Thank you.
Hey, why do I have to go to my sister's tonight?
You're free as a bird, Mildred. Count your blessings.
The commissioner has graciously insisted upon making dinner this evening.
Oh, another one of those dumb bets. And you lost again, huh?
Good night, Mildred.
I always heard you were very bright down at headquarters. How come you, keep losing all these bets?
Good night, Mildred.
Gonna make dinner again, huh?
Good night, Mildred.
Listen, are you sure you don't want me to hang around? I mean, you didn't win much with Chef Pierre in there, you know.
It's the thought that counts. I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Okay. Better get myself changed and get out of here. What are you gonna make, Commissioner?
Souffle.
Oh, from burnt toast to a souffle. That takes guts.
Mac, you know, I think some of those nice little pizza hors d'oeuvres would go very well right now. How's it going, Mac?
Just great. Dinner will be ready in just a few minutes.
I simply can't understand the problem, Mac. I ask for a simple Stilton cheese souffle with sautéed mushrooms, and you make it such a problem. Whatever happened to that famous male superiority? Mac, the door. Hi.
I'm looking for Mr. McMillan. I have a message for him.
He's real busy right now. I'm Mrs. McMillan. Can I help you?
I have to deliver the message in person.
Oh, come on in. Mac, there's somebody here to see you.
What is it?
Mr. McMillan?
Yes?
Could I see some identification, please? He doth raise his country's fame with his own, and in the mouths of nations yet unborn, his praises shall be sung. Death comes to all, but great achievements raise a monument which shall endure until the sun grows cold.
Georgius Fabricius.
Terrace and Fifth, 9:30.
Well, that's a terrific act, fellas.
Son, who sent you?
I don't know, a man.
What did he look like?
Well, I couldn't see much of his face. He had on dark glasses and a hat.
All right.
I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Give me $10 to say that. That's all I know.
You are.
Bye.
Mac, what was that? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I just heard from one. Dinner's ready.
Well, that was some kind of a crazy message, wasn't it, Mac?
Code. Haven't heard that word since I was with intelligence.
What did the part mean about, Georgius, what's his name?
Georgius Fabricius.
Yeah.
Countersign. Message was part of a eulogy written in 1550.
You mean one of your agency buddies is trying to get in touch with you?
Dwight Carmichael.
Well, that's kind of exciting, isn't it, Mac?
Yeah. Kind of weird, too. He's been dead for 30 years.
It is odd, sir. You get a message from a stranger to meet you here. He turns up dead, and there is not a scrap of identification.
That's right.
Well, it must have been important. I wonder what it was he wanted to tell you.
He said it was important. That's why I came.
Well, there must be something that we can go on, sir.
I have never seen that face before in my life.
Are you sure? That you don't remember
Just take my word for it.
Well, I'm only trying to help. No. Well, it is weird, isn't it? I wonder what it was that he wanted.
I wish I knew.
Maybe it wasn't Carmichael.
Oh, it was Carmichael, all right. Even with that face job, you couldn't mistake that scar on his arm. Burned in an air crash in Dresden.
Mac, what had made you think he was dead?
We worked together. He disappeared on a mission. A couple of months later, we heard he was dead. The source was solid. Stone cold dead. Only he wasn't dead. Not until tonight. Now, how do I put that in an official report without breaching national security? Poor Enright asked me a couple of perfectly logical questions, and I almost bit his head off.
Mac, you're not in intelligence anymore. Why do you have to keep Carmichael a secret?
Because he was still a part of it. That's why he was working undercover. He had something to tell me, something about business, only he didn't get to tell me, and that's what makes it a problem. A security problem.
Why can't you just call someone in Washington?
Oh, sure, I could call Washington, but I'm not going to. He had something to tell me. Something to tell me and nobody else. When I find out what that is, then I'll call Washington. He's a good guy. I like that guy. I owe him something.
Where are you going to begin? He's a man who's got no face. He's got no identification.
This is all I've got. So I'll begin with this. I'm all alone in this, Sally. I may have to ask your help. Will you help me?
Always.
That's it?
That's it.
I'll tell you something. I think you need a chemistry professor, or better still, a clairvoyant for this job.
Could it be a Balkan mixture? That's what he always used.
Oh, sure. It's a Balkan mixture. It looks like a Balkan mixture. But which Balkan mixture? There must be 95 of them.
95, that's all? Gee, that's not bad, is it, Mac?
No, that's very encouraging.
Wait a minute. I think I know somebody that can help you. Did you ever hear of Rico Martinez?
Rico Martinez, the guitarist?
His father was a Cuban tobacconist. Rico is fantastic. He knows everything there is to know.
Sold. I'll look him up.
Mac.
Hmm?
What do you think?
Yeah, it does wonders for you.
Not for me, for you. On the other hand, you may be right.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Come, Sally.
Thank you. And may I know my audience?
My name is McMillan, Senor Martinez. I wonder if I could talk to you for a moment.
Of course. Commissioner McMillan, isn't it?
That's right.
And your companion?
Mrs. McMillan, Senor Martinez.
Nice to meet you, Mrs.
That was
McMillan.
beautiful.
Thank you very much. And how can I help you, Commissioner?
Senor Martinez, I understand you're an expert on tobacco.
Well, of sorts.
I wonder if you could help me with this.
Vulcan. It's a unique mixture. The man who smokes this is most discriminating.
He is, yes.
It's called Duvan-Chateri, which is nothing more than Serbian for mixture number 3. Very rare in these parts. The only shop that may carry it is Selwyn's on Cable Street.
Well, that's what it looks like, but it's the only one I've got left. I was just about to mail it out to a customer.
Is this your customer? Is it him?
I think so. What's he doing on the ground like that?
Just, sleeping it off. I'd like his address, please.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't give out that information.
Right.
Oh? Okay. Well, here it is. Carl Reese, 385 Marlborough Street.
Thank you very much.
He wasn't really asleep, was he?
No. Here we are. Carl Reese, apartment B.
Suppose nobody answers, Mac.
Well, maybe Mrs. Goodbody will.
Who's Mrs. Goodbody?
The manager.
The manageress.
Right. Good old Mrs. Goodbody.
I don't do this for everybody. Next time it's gonna take a warrant. I don't care who you are. I'm not even sure this key fits.
Well, I certainly hate to inconvenience you, Mrs. Goodbody, but perhaps $10 more would help.
Everything helps. Don't take anything, or else I'll have to call the police. Don't take anything.
Well, now, shall we?
Just don't take anything. Did you find anything?
I'm not sure.
What are you doing?
Carl Reese.
My goodness. Very good. I've got Greece, Turkey, Hong Kong, Spain, Malta, etc., etc. I'd say someone was planning a trip somewhere.
Any place.
Plus, turn it over.
To Carl, love, Laura.
Well, we've got something to go on. Can't say you did too much for this jacket.
Mrs. Goodbody didn't say anything about tearing clothes up. Yeah, it's something. Laura could be 3,000 miles away.
Look at this.
Can you make that out?
Dishwasher. Dishwasher. Maybe it's elephant. I don't know. If Carmichael bought this, he didn't buy it for himself. At a boutique?
Laura.
Laura.
Let's go.
Ah, Mrs. Goodbody.
I'm not sure what it says. I'm not sure what it says. It looks like a elephant.
Or dishwasher?
It looks like a dishwasher. It looks like a elephant. I'm not sure what it says. It looks like a elephant. I'm not sure what it says. It looks like a elephant. I'm not sure what it says. It looks like a Or dishwasher. I better check the number.
Mac, what do you think of these? For after the baby, naturally.
I like them. Practical, too. Bulletproof.
I found it. One leather carryall, $46.50, and that was yesterday.
Who wrote it up?
Looks like BC. Must have been Bonnie.
Could I talk to her?
Oh, she's off today.
Oh. Free initials. Do you keep records on these?
Oh, you mean on this one? I think we do. Let me check.
Well, that was very good.
Not necessarily. There's no law that says you have to have initials put on them.
The thing is, not everybody bothers with initials. You're in luck. Silver initials, LR.
Two leads, Mac.
Laura R. Plus the very strong possibility that she and Carmichael were going to be traveling together.
Carry-all bag, right?
Which gives us the passport office to check. Come on.
There could be another lead. Laura R. could mean that she's married to Carl Reese.
Very good. That means we have a lot to cover this afternoon.
We could split up.
No way. We need a badge at the passport office and a badge at the Bureau of Records.
Right.
This is Commissioner McMillan. Let me have Sergeant Enright.
Excuse me, is this new passport?
I think it's right over here.
No, this is my first trip out of the country, and I just can't believe it. Look, I've been studying French for 3 weeks, and I don't remember a word. Oh, maybe I'll see you over there. Where are you going?
We don't know yet.
Oh, well, have a wonderful trip.
Sorry to hold you up, Commissioner. We don't have anything on a Laura Reese. Got a few other Lauras for you, though.
Looks like we're out of luck.
Are you sure the application was filed here, Commissioner?
I'm not even sure the application was filled out.
Hi, Sergeant.
What did you find out?
Oh, nothing very much, sir, I'm afraid. If Carl and Laura Reese were married, it couldn't have happened in San Francisco. There's nothing on file at the Bureau of Records.
What is it?
Huh? Oh, it's nothing much, sir. It's just that when I pulled up here, I saw some guy sniffing around your car. Well, at first I thought maybe he was going to try and grab it, but then he got into his own car and drove off.
Did you get a good look at him?
No, not too good.
Is he wearing a green alpine hat and driving a rust-colored sedan?
Yes, sir, that's the guy. Well, who is he?
I don't know, but he's been following us for a couple of hours.
You didn't tell me that.
Did you get his license?
Yes, sir.
Good.
May I ask the commissioner something?
You mean, what's it all about?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's a little complicated and definitely not for publication.
I understand, sir.
Carl Reese was the man who was murdered last night. I knew him years ago under another name.
Well, shouldn't that go in the report, sir? I mean, we don't have a single lead.
It's definitely a security problem. He works for the government.
Oh. Well, do you want me to check out the license?
That's probably a John Doe rental, but yes, I guess you better check it out.
Right. By the way, Commissioner, you better get going.
Why?
Well, I don't know for sure, but it was on your calendar. Some sort of christening.
Oh, the ship. We're supposed to christen it. Sergeant, we gotta christen the ship. I christen thee number 7384.
That was a fine launching, Mrs. McMillan.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I don't believe it. Walt Herman.
Damn it, Mac, it is good to see you. I figured you'd be in some Albanian prison somewhere or a villa on the Riviera by now.
On government pay. You look like you've done all right for yourself, Commissioner.
Well, we're all both in the same business, public service. Sally, I'd like you to meet a very old friend, Walt Hartman.
How do you do?
You're very beautiful, Mrs. McMillan. And very lucky.
Thank you.
This is a little off the beaten path for you, isn't it, Walt? What brings your body to San Francisco?
Just passing through.
Is that yours?
He's a good man. He worries a little about the crease in his trousers, but he's a good man.
Would it be indiscreet of me to suggest that you two had worked together at one time?
No, that's a reasonable suggestion, Mrs. McMillan.
Call me Sally.
Walt used to be my boss.
Oh.
You got a minute, Mac?
Hey, take your time. I'll wait in the car. Nice to meet you all.
Tell you the truth, Mac, I've been in San Francisco for a couple of months. I really couldn't contact you.
And shouldn't now.
No.
That important, huh?
It is.
Carmichael?
Yeah, Carmichael. Mac, I'm going to ask you to lay off.
Where do you fit in?
What difference does that make?
All the difference in the world.
It's a powder keg, Mac. The agency could get hurt.
So could my department if I don't do something about his murder. Now, Walt, tell me what you know.
Well, I know he contacted you. I know you found him dead. I don't know who did it. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
I need more than that.
Mac, you've been around the dirty tricks business. You're a veteran. You know, certain things have to stay in the can.
Murder is not one of them. Not around here.
That's pretty high-toned.
It's part of my job. Now, Walt, look. If I didn't think I was involved in a security situation, I wouldn't feel as if I had to keep this investigation low-key. Now, as police commissioner of San Francisco, I have to walk a very, very thin line.
All right. All right, I'll give you everything I've got, starting back in '64, when Carmichael slipped into East Europe, got himself grabbed, and didn't have the good grace to bite into that tiny cyanide cure. Fact is, over the next couple of years, he got less and less graceful. You really couldn't blame him. A prison cell the size of a toilet will do that for you, especially when you know you're settled in it for life. So,
sold out.
An agent never sells out. You know that, Mac. He simply exercises his survival flexibilities.
Which accounts for the plastic job.
Yeah, they give him a new face, a new name, and a new job.
Right here.
Exactly. Now they have a floater here who can operate with perfect impunity. An ex-agent whose face couldn't be recognized by our people in a million years.
Maybe you recognized him.
And had him killed. Hey, that's pretty good. You haven't lost your touch, Mac. That's a good scenario. It holds. Except it didn't happen that way. Carmichael came to me, gave me some background, said he'd be back in a couple of days with a proposition. So maybe that's where you fit in, Mac. Maybe he figured on you to play broker.
You knew he contacted me. You also knew he was killed. That means you had a tail on him. I'm just wondering if you had the same man on me today. Stamped out model like your boy over there, only with an alpine hat with a feather in it.
Mac, not one of mine.
Okay, well. You're not finished, are you?
Oh, did I leave something out?
Oh, I was just wondering how much you knew about that girl.
Laura?
Laura.
Oh. Well, I know as much about the girl as you do, Mac, which is nothing. Except she could be in trouble.
Why?
She was Carmichael's lady friend. Carmichael's dead. What's it going to be, Mac?
I can't drop it.
You are stubborn, Mac. You always was stubborn, you know that? Only, hey, don't let it get you in over your head,
How?
You got a job to do? Okay, do it. But keep it low-key.
Make it sound like an order.
All the way from Washington, Mac. People back there are going to be embarrassed about Carmichael. They get embarrassed enough, there's going to be some sound, there's going to be some fury. I wouldn't want you to lose your job, Commissioner.
Is that a threat?
No, no, no. It's just advice. Only if you really need me.
Yes?
Yes, I wonder if I could speak with Laura Rice.
She passed away 2 days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She was 86 years old, and she'd had a good life. Are you one of her girls?
Beg your pardon?
One of her girls from the Unwed Mothers League. Mrs. Rice was the president.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, I must have the wrong person. Thank you.
Well, there's nothing to be ashamed of, young lady. We're here if you need us.
Does Laura Ricketts work here?
Laura, somebody wants to see you. Coming!
She'll be right out. Thank you. You wanted to see me? Yes, could I have a cup of coffee, please?
2 minuti.
I must have covered 50 miles today, up and down the hills. Do you know what I am becoming? An expert on Lauras. Tall Lauras, short Lauras, fat Lauras, thin Lauras, little Lauras, big Lauras, Lauras that are married, Lauras that are divorced, and Lauras that are living in sin. I covered the telephone book, the welfare list, the voter registration. I'm out of Lauras, Mac. How did you do?
Nothing. Never left the altar. Today was bureaucracy's finest hour.
What about the unlisted phone numbers?
Enright checked them out. Not a thing.
What about that license plate, the man with the hat?
Dead end. Turned out to be a John Doe rental after all. He dumped the car 20 minutes after Enright spotted him.
Maybe that man with the hat doesn't work for Walt Harmon.
He works for Walt, all right. Walt was chief of my unit for 5 years. We went through hell and high water together. I know how he works. If the situation were reversed, I'd do the same thing. I'd put a tail on him.
Well, I'm not going to think about it anymore. Here comes dinner, and I'm starving. Does that smell good?
Enjoy.
Grazie.
You don't.
No, go ahead.
No, go on. Go on.
I hate to disturb you, Commissioner, but they said it's important.
Yes. What? No. I haven't. Right. Yeah, I'll be right over.
What was that?
Laura?
Our Laura?
Our Laura. She wants to see me now.
You're kidding. How did she find you?
Called home. Mildred told her we were here. Senora, look, you go ahead and finish. There's no reason for both of us to go over there.
Mac,
I'll see you at home.
Mac, I'm an expert on Laura, remember?
Senora, it breaks my heart, but we have to leave.
Oh. Ernestina, do you have a doggy bag for linguine?
Looks like Harmon's called off his dogs. Sally.
It's so good, I hate to throw it away.
Stay down.
Why would anyone try to kill me? I don't understand.
I don't either. That's what I'm going to find out. Why did you call me, Laura?
Well,
it sounds crazy now, but... A friend gave me your number and told me that if I didn't hear from him in 24 hours, I should call you.
Carl Reese.
Yes.
Go on.
Well, it sounded mysterious and silly at first. I thought he was joking. But then I didn't hear from him, and I got worried, so I called you. And then this happened, and, well, now I don't know what's going on. What is happening? Is Carl in some sort of trouble with the police?
No, Laura. Carl's dead.
No. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
I know this isn't the right time, Laura, but I have to ask you some questions.
I think I'll get you a glass of water.
You see, Laura, Carl was murdered.
Murdered? That must be why he gave me your phone number. He must have known he was in danger.
What do you know about him, Laura?
He was quiet. He stayed to himself. He didn't bother anyone. Why would anyone hurt him? Why would anyone want to hurt me?
Did he ever talk about his work?
Not very much. I knew it had something to do with insurance. Insurance investigating, I think.
Did he ever mention which company?
No. Oh, I think maybe he did once, but I didn't pay any attention. The home office was back east somewhere. That's why he could work out of his apartment here.
How long was he here in San Francisco?
Only a few months. We met when he first came out here.
And you were going to be married. You were going abroad. Where, Laura?
We weren't sure. We talked about it dozens of places. We were like a couple of kids. Everything had such a special excitement about it. It was wonderful.
What were his plans? How were you going to live?
He'd, come into some money. An uncle, I think. But that wasn't the truth, was it? He didn't tell me everything, did he?
No.
Will you tell me? Please tell me.
Carl worked with the government. That's all I can tell you. All set?
Yes, sir.
Laura, I want you to move out of here for a few days. I don't think anybody will bother you again, but I'd rather be on the safe side.
If you think it's better.
I'd feel better. Now, if you want to go anywhere, if you want to go shopping, to work, anywhere, I'll have somebody along with you to keep an eye on you.
Better put some things in the bag, I guess.
If there's anything you need now, Sergeant N right here, we'll get it for you.
Thank you. And if there's anything that I can do, you just call me. Thank you. Commissioner, I almost forgot. Wait. That's for you.
From Carl?
Yes, he said if I had to call you, I should give you that. But he didn't say anything else. What could it be for?
I don't know. Probably nothing very important. Now, Sergeant, I want you to take good care of Miss... Laura, what is your last name?
Rainey.
Rainey.
There wasn't any Laura Rainey in the telephone book.
It's not listed in the phone book. Not under my name, anyway. It's listed under Miller. I sublet this apartment.
Oh, it's you.
What did you expect?
Well, smugglers if it wasn't you.
Did we get any calls, Mildred?
Yeah, my sister. Do you want to hear about it, or do you have something else to do this evening?
Pretend you're paying for a telegram.
Okay. Let's see. She has the gout. Stop. She's very happy. Stop. She hears that only rich people get the gout. Stop. Love, Mildred.
Stop.
How was dinner tonight?
Well, have you got anything in the kitchen?
You hungry? Where do you get off being hungry?
Well, it's just not the same when you eat out of a container.
You eat $9 worth of linguine and you're hungry?
You know, sometimes you two sound exactly like my sister. I'll just go put a couple of cans of water in the soup. Oh, anybody want a melted cheese sandwich?
Fine.
I don't have any cheese.
You know, you made it tough. This key is a duplicate, not a single identification mark.
I don't know how Carmichael ever expected you to figure out what it's for.
Oh, I know what it's for.
What?
Key to a safety deposit box. There must be at least 25,000 of them in this city alone.
Why do spies always work in riddles? Why couldn't Carmichael have just told Laura what bank he wanted you to go to?
Didn't want her to know, probably. Didn't want her to get involved.
I feel sorry for Laura. She's so confused, Mac.
He was playing good odds, Sally. If the key somehow got into somebody else's hands, whatever is in the safety deposit box would remain safe.
I see what you mean. Not just anybody can open up a safety deposit box.
Commissioner of Police can.
Now, there's an officer right outside the door if you need anything. Are you all right, Miss Rainey?
Yes. Fine, thank you. It's funny, isn't it? How people say they're fine even when the world is falling apart around them. What am I doing here anyway? Why is this all happening? It's so confusing.
Well, it settles. It always settles. People pick up and they start again, and then it's behind them.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Good night.
Good night. Sergeant, would it be all right if I used the telephone? A friend of mine may be trying to call me at my place, and I'm afraid she'll be worried.
You use that phone as much as you like. This is your home for a few days.
You're very kind.
Good night.
Hello. It's me. No. No, they've moved me for a few days. The new number is 555-5933. No. No problem. Everything went beautifully. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No. R-E-I-S-S. Reese. Carl Reese. Nothing? All right, thank you.
Hi, Maggie.
Hello.
Hey, is he in?
He's in, all right. He's been on the phone for hours.
Oh, he's still on the phone. That's a bad sign.
I beg your pardon?
Never mind. I think I'll just go in and see him.
I see. Well, thank you very much.
Any luck?
No luck. I ran out of banks.
Is it possible that Carmichael used his own name instead of the name Carl Reese?
I tried that.
Oh. Maybe he used another name. How about that name, that code name the little boy told us about the other
Georges
night?
Fabricius?
Right.
Hey, you're getting very good. You know that? I tried that, too. There's something missing. Hello, Miss Layton? Yes, this is Commissioner McMillan again. I have another name for you. You're right. Stuart McMillan.
If you need anything else, Commissioner, please let me know.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
That's it?
What were you expecting?
Well, I don't know. $1 million, diamonds, something. Keystone.
Keystone.
What is that? Is that somebody's name? Somebody you know?
No, it's not anybody's name. It's agency jargon. Keystone means #2 man of the unit.
Ah, that's great. It could be any unit anywhere.
Walt Harmon's unit.
Do you mean to tell me that the killer is in Walt Harmon's unit and he doesn't even know it?
That's it. Looks like Walt's gonna have to work with me after all, whether he likes it or not.
Well, that's not very likely after the meeting you had with him.
He hasn't got any choice. I have something he needs, and he's not gonna get it until I get the cooperation I need. It's as simple as that.
Magnificent, isn't it? All the drama, mystery of life in that fading light. Easy does it. There we go. Well, Mac, what do you think of my bureaucratic image these days, eh?
Yeah, it looks like your cover is finally caught up with your personal lifestyle.
The boys in the accounting office won't like it, but then we never did get along. Sally, won't you please sit down? I'm going to mix us something to drink. What would you like?
Something soft.
Something soft. How about orange juice, eh?
That'd be great.
What about you, Mac?
Oh, the usual.
Usual. That would be a martini, yeah?
Aha.
I know I don't have to tell you this, Mac. It's a funny thing. People attach a certain glamour to this business. Pretty soon, though, the glamour fades and it becomes just a tough job with an element of risk. And after a while, you get used to that. And then you discover that wonder of wonders, you're thoroughly jaded. You realize there isn't a single decent human being on the face of this earth. Except maybe the guy next to you when you need him. The next thing you know, 20 years go by, and you make another discovery. You're a professional schizophrenic. You start dividing yourself into reality and fantasy. And reality is what you've come to accept as life. Fantasy is what you suddenly long to escape to. And you know what it is you want to escape to? What everybody else calls normal. More than anything else in the world, you want to be normal. Because it finally hits you that you're lonely.
Thank you.
Nostrovia.
Cheers.
Well, Mac, I know you didn't come down here with the sunset, and I don't think we're hiding anything from Sally now, so tell me, what's on your mind, huh?
Straight?
Yeah, sure, straight.
You've been holding out on me, Walt.
Oh?
I knew it the other day, but that was your prerogative then. You didn't need me.
But that's changed.
That's changed.
You must hold an interesting hand.
I've got the cards.
Such as?
Such as I know that Carmichael was killed by one of your people.
That's very good, Mac. But then you were always good at that sort of thing. How do I know you're not bluffing?
We've withheld information from each other, Walt, but we've never lied to each other.
All right.
I'll make a deal with you. But you have to promise me one thing first. You help me bring in the killer.
You got it.
All right. Let's start with Carmichael.
Well, he came to me with a deal. About on par with your deal, Mac. There he was all of a sudden. Many years dead and buried Carmichael, standing there with that crazy Carl Reese face, telling me he was an enemy agent these days. Been drilling holes in the homeland for the past 6.5 years. But now he wanted out of it. He was through taking sides, and he thought maybe I could help him. Fix him up with $250,000 and some new ID. And in return, He'd give me a piece of information he'd picked up from one of his new colleagues. The name of the sleeper in my outfit.
Sleeper?
It's exactly the way it hit me.
Well, what did you say to him?
I told him I needed time, and I did. I don't carry that kind of money around in petty cash. I went through Washington. By the time they got back to me, Carmichael was dead.
Will somebody please explain to me what a sleeper is?
An enemy agent planted in an alien country, long before he starts functioning as an agent.
Happens all the time, Sally. A man emigrates to a new country when he's in his 20s, becomes a citizen, gets a government job, works his way up. By the time he's 35 or 40, he has access to valuable information.
Oh, that's incredible.
What did Washington decide, by the way?
They approved the deal. You know, Mac, a big chunk of me was rooting for Carmichael. He was a guy caught in the middle, saw a way out. Gotta give him points, Mac. He did see a way out.
Well, he had to see a way out. He was a man that was in love.
But he didn't make it. Somebody killed him. Somebody tried to kill Laura, too, by the way. Well, she's all right. I've got her.
Okay, Mac. It's your turn.
Keystone.
Don't play games with me, Mac.
I'm not.
That's crazy. Where'd you get that?
Looks like Carmichael got to me after all. Let's call it a legacy.
Keystone. I'd have gone along with Santa Claus first. Look, Mac, I'm going to ask you to call off the deal. Let it ride, the whole thing.
I knew you were going to ask that, Walt. I can't do it.
Come on, Mac, come on. Think of what I could do with this situation. I could pull the strings on him.
Sure. He thinks he got away with killing Carmichael and continues to operate as your Keystone. And you just sit back quietly milking out his contacts. But you forgot one thing, Walt. Laura. Keystone thinks she knows too much. He'll keep after her.
Mac, Laura's no problem. We'll wall her up someplace. The East Coast, if you like. I'll pick up the tab.
You can't just shuffle people around like canned goods, Walt. And I can't just write off a murder.
And that's it?
That's it.
All right. I guess I'll have to live with it.
How do we take him?
I'll set something up. Call you.
What's his name?
Cushing.
Cushing?
Yeah, you saw him the other day, but don't let his looks fool you. He's sharp. Not as sharp as my old Keystone, though. I'll bet you didn't know that.
Would you mind taking a taxi home? I have a couple of things I better take care of first.
No, I don't mind. Are you sure you wouldn't like some company?
It's official business. I'll see you later. right, who are you? What do you want?
I'm looking for Moby Dick. Oh, it's a boat!
Really?
Hi. Your official business sure didn't take very long.
My official business turned out to be a wild goose chase.
Don't get yourself comfortable. Walt Harmon called.
Oh.
Your meeting is tonight.
Oh.
Mac, I don't like this Cushing. He's got me worried. I didn't like his face from the start.
No, there won't be any trouble. What time?
9 o'clock at the roller bowl. Now, why would he want to meet you at a roller bowl?
Maybe he likes to skate. Enright? Me. Tell me something. Been roller skating lately?
He's in there now, waiting for me. We've used this place a couple of times for a drop, so he should be pretty tame. I know it's short notice, Mac, but it's better tonight.
Meaning you want to get it over with?
Let's skip the analysis, okay, Mac? I got him here. I'm not going to take him.
I don't want you to. It's my job.
It wasn't you, Mac. But he was somebody to talk to. You know something? He was so stiff, I almost got to like him. I don't like him anymore. He's yours. Watch yourself.
do you want?
A root beer. How much is it?
Sign's over there.
Well, we'd better put out an APB, sir.
No.
Security again?
Something like that.
You all right?
And I thought you weren't getting involved.
Commissioner, this is the man that saved your life.
Wouldn't be the first time. You better get inside and do some explaining.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I figured I better come back. He's got this damn sixth sense. Well, I've gone this far, Mac. I'll go the rest of the way. And don't give me any more Boy Scout talk about working together. You don't know where to look. I do. I'll bring him in. But it's got to be my way.
Yes?
Officer Ames, Miss Rainey. Everything all right in there?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Ames, it must be awfully boring out there. Would you like to come in and play some cards?
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't, really.
It'd be a good way to keep an eye on me.
I guess it is at that.
Well, how do you know anything happened?
I talked to Sergeant Enright. He got away, didn't he?
For the moment.
10 o'clock and all's well. McMillan residence, Mildred speaking. Yeah, if you'll hold on a minute, I'll see if he's here. We've got a world champion heavy breather on the phone. He wants to talk to you.
Who is it?
I don't know. He didn't breathe his name.
McMillan.
My name's Cushing. I think maybe we better meet and straighten out a couple of things.
Well, I suppose I could. What's the matter with right? Cushing wants me to meet him at the airport at 11 o'clock.
Well, you're not going to go.
It could be a trap.
He just tried to kill you at the roller rink.
Cushing is supposed to be sharp. Now, he wouldn't call me out in the open like that. That's amateur night.
Why else would he call you? What could he be trying to tell you?
Unless he's trying to distract me.
Distract you from what?
Laura.
Well, this is ridiculous. She's got to be there, Mac.
Anybody for a three-handed game of poker? Well, what about a one-handed game of poker, beautiful?
Oh. Oh, Commissioner.
What happened?
Oh, she hit me. Why would you do something like that? I was protecting her.
Laura?
Yes, ma'am.
Go on.
Well, we were playing cards. Oh, you know how it is, Commissioner. I guess she got a little lonely being cooped up in here. Anyway, she said she was going to get a cold drink out of the refrigerator. Asked me if I wanted something. I said, no thanks. And she gets up, goes past me, and bang, that was it. Went out like a light. Well, B.
What?
I just realized something, Commissioner. She hit me with her hand.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir, I'm sure. But I couldn't in this world tell you why.
Well, something must have happened to make her do it. Something you said or did.
Well, I don't know what it could be. We were only playing gin. I'd already lost $1.37.
All right. Let's start from the beginning.
Well, I came on duty at 8. That's when Davenport goes off. About 9 or so, I knocked on the door, checked to see if everything was okay. Well, she must have been kind of lonely. Asked me to play some cards. Well, I didn't see any harm in that, Commissioner. So, we sat down and started to play. We must have been at it for about an hour. Then she gets up and clobbers me, just like that.
Nothing else happened? What did you talk about?
Well, I guess I did most of the talking. I told her about my 2 boys in college. Talked a little bit about being a ham operator. Things like that.
So you just sat there and talked and played cards, and that's it?
Yes, sir. Oh, hey, there was a call. A friend of hers. It didn't last more than a minute.
What did she say? Exactly.
Well, phone rang. Hello? Joanne, I think. Yes, I'm still here. I'm playing cards with this very nice policeman. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Then she hung up. About 5 minutes later, she goes into this karate act.
What time did this call come in? Try to pin it down.
I'd have to say just after 10, Commissioner. A few minutes after 10.
Commissioner.
I hope you're not too comfortable.
Not really, sir.
Good, then you don't mind meeting me at the airport in 30 minutes. Are you sure I'm not disturbing you?
Not at all, sir. I'll be right there.
Would you mind telling me what's going on?
I'm not sure yet.
Well, you know more than I do. Why are we going to the airport after all?
We're working on the assumption that Laura is a helpless little pawn in the situation, right?
Well, I'll give you this. She's a lot of things. Helpless she ain't.
What if Laura isn't who she says she is? Then the phone call makes some sense.
It does? Not to me.
Laura got her call a few minutes after 10, is that right?
Yeah.
What time did Cushing call me at the apartment?
I don't know.
10 o'clock and all's well.
Mildred! That's when she answered the phone.
And a few minutes after that, Laura gets a call from a friend.
And a few minutes after that, Laura slugs poor Ames over the head and she gets out of there. Why?
Because somebody told her to. Told her that Cushing was going to be at the airport.
What does Laura have to do with Cushing? And besides, how could anybody know what Cushing was telling you over our phone? Unless our phone's been bugged. That doesn't make any sense. It's all crazy.
Not if Laura's the sleeper.
Laura? Laura is an agent?
Laura, or whatever her name is, finds out that Carmichael made a deal with Walt Harmon, the name of the sleeper, in exchange for a new life. That means she has to kill Carmichael to shut him up. Then she establishes herself as Carmichael's girlfriend.
She puts her own picture in Carmichael's apartment.
And the receipt for the leather carry-all. The final touch was that fake attempt on her life. That set me up for the safety deposit box.
With Cushing's name on it.
She made Cushing her patsy. The moment I opened that envelope, Walt Harmon and I were on the trail of the wrong sleeper. I think Cushing's onto her. I think that's what he wants to tell me at the airport.
That is a fascinating theory. The only thing is, if Cushing isn't the sleeper, then why did he try to kill you?
Because he thought I was trying to kill him.
Huh. Where does that man with the hat fit in?
I don't know yet. But he's got to be in on it with Laura. I'll bet you he fired that shot into her apartment.
The man with the hat?
And if I'm right, he's also the guy who tapped our phone. And if I'm right, Laura and the man with the hat are on their way to the airport.
If you're wrong?
The action's still at the airport. I want you to stay right here and catch Enright when he comes in. I'll pick him up later.
Where are you gonna go?
Find Cushing.
go look for him.
I don't know, Sergeant. He said to wait right here.
I know, but I really think I should go look for him.
Commissioner? I figured I'd better find out what I'm supposed to be doing. Three people, Sergeant. Laura Rainey, your friend with the hat, and Cushing. Grab anyone that you can. Yes, sir. Laura!
Stay there.
What about the other one, sir?
Keep looking. This gun wasn't fired.
Do you think I killed him? No. Someone else got there first. But I wanted to kill him. More than anything in this world, I wanted to kill him.
All right, then. If it wasn't you, it was your partner. You're under arrest for the murder of Carl Reese.
Carl. You're arresting me for Carl's murder. I loved Carl. That's the man who killed Carl. He was trying to get out of the country. That's what I'm doing here tonight. Carl and I were on opposite sides of the fence. I started out deceiving him, but I ended up loving him.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Flight 900 to Geneva, departing at 11:30. Final call, please.
All right, I got a gun. Here's my identification.
Sorry, Commissioner. Why didn't you say so?
Why didn't you ask me?
Sir, may I see your boarding pass?
don't you fireball? It's empty, isn't it? You might as well hand it over.
Yeah. Might as well.
I'm sorry, Walt.
I know that, Mac. Damn, but you're good. I didn't think you'd catch on.
The truth is, I didn't catch on till now. You're the sleeper. I'd never have found you if I hadn't found this. It's brand new, Walt. It couldn't belong to the guy I thought I was chasing.
His name's Tanner. He works for the agency, too. Looks like Washington was onto me, Mac. They sent him out to Bird Dog. And talk about your new stamped-out models. That is one hell of a clumsy boy.
Yeah. He couldn't even figure out where I fit in. He put a tail on me. Carmichael was blackmailing you, wasn't he?
Yeah. He'd found out who I was. He wanted me to provide him with $250,000 and a new identity, or he'd feed me to Washington.
What about Laura? How does she fit in?
Well, she worked in my section back in Washington. And while Carmichael was waiting for me to come up with the money, I played Cupid. Worked like a charm. Carmichael should have known better, but he fell in love. And of course, I was figuring on knocking him off through Laura. Didn't work that way.
No. She fell in love with him.
Yeah. And when I found that out, I had to come up with a whole new approach. And then you came into the picture. Now I had to move fast, right?
So you made Cushing the sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And you told Laura he killed Carmichael.
Yeah. She was ready to go after him with bare hands. I told her we couldn't play it that way. After all, we had a police commissioner to satisfy, and we had to keep a low profile for the agency.
So you had to set the stage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You fired that shot into Laura's apartment, didn't you? You had Laura hand over the safety deposit key. All roads leading to Cushing. And I was supposed to kill him at the Roller Bowl, wasn't I?
Who would have put an end to it, Mac? And if I hadn't missed him, you know something, Mac? I'm getting old.
No. You wouldn't have fired with all those people in the way, so you escaped. Now you had to come up with another twist.
I didn't have any more twists until he called you. Because by this time, he didn't trust me. He never saw who shot him at the Roller Bowl, but he was beginning to get a whiff. And after all, I sent him there, right?
He knew somebody was after him. He thought it was you. So he had to get somewhere safe. But first he had to call me. What he didn't know was that you had my phone tapped. And when you found out he was going to be at the airport, he called Laura. Told her that her lover's murderer was escaping.
Yeah, but she lost him. I had to do it myself. It almost worked. It was a little improvised, but it almost worked. You see, I didn't count on you to figure that tap. That was smart, Mac. Then you took it one step further. You figured somebody'd be using Cushing's ticket and passport. Smart.
I had expert training.
I'm tired, Mac. Tired of playing games. Comes a time when you just get tired. Well, at least I finished it right, eh? First class.
Yeah, you always go first class.
Don't worry about it, Mac. I'm just as graceless as poor old Carmichael was when he got caught. I threw the cyanide away months ago. You know how tired I really am, Mac? I couldn't even kill you.
Commissioner, I got him. I got him, sir.
Let him go.
But, sir...
He's with the government.
I tried to tell you that. As for you, Commissioner McMillan, I think I better warn you right now that my particular organization is more than a little interested in your activities.
Thanks for the warning.
Mac?
Hmm?
You know, I've been thinking. Walt Harmon was an enemy agent, but he was a good friend, too. You know, people don't think of spies as human beings, but they are. I guess it's just a weakness that they can't help.
Or a strength.
I always thought of it as such a glamorous world. But Walt was right, it's not. You made the right decision.
What's that?
Getting out of the agency. Being a spy is dirty, dangerous business. I'm just glad you went into police work instead.